Hello. This video is what I think about anarchy. Um, Now I didn't actually do like a Wikipedia definition of what anarchy is. I'm just doing, I don't do any actually research or anything when I do videos. I just think of, oh, let's do a video on this and do it. I don't know, I'm a uploadaholic. I have uploaditis. Because it's so easy to upload videos. You just click, 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 and leave it there. Anyways, so I think anarchy is where people, the belief that people, I guess, our social structure should be governed by no rules whatsoever at all. Like when anybody can do whatever the fricky dicky they want to. And I think people come up with that idea because in some part of their higher self they envision the future, like a utopia where there really aren't any rules, and I do believe that there's such societies like that, I think, and maybe not even that far in our future. Bashar says that the Sithani, the half-gray alien human hybrid aliens who live in 300 years in our future, are basically anarchical. There's no laws or nothing. People do whatever they want. They just use laws of synchronicity to just govern how they do things, whatever comes up, they do it. And they say that they're integrated with our world, and this is 300 years in the future. So maybe there will be anarchy in 300 years in the future. Maybe in 300 years in the future, we won't have cops and laws and lawyers or anything like that, because everybody will have enough money and be prosperous enough that everybody will be good, nobody will go nuts or anything because people will just not naturally take care of them. I don't know. But, so maybe that's what people think about when they want to become anarchists, but I think anarchists, too much of the time, they think that we're ready for that now. And for a long time, we're gonna need cops, we're gonna need, street lights, we're gonna need rules, regulations, laws, lawyers, all this stuff to keep people in check, because there's going to be, as long as we have people disagreeing on things, we're always going to have people breaking laws. I think we'll stop breaking laws, and when anarchy will be able to be possible when everybody agrees on everything, everybody agrees what the meaning of life is, what happens after you die, because we all see, because our science integrates with our religion and everything integrates. But until then, we're going to need structures. So anarchists of today, people who would say get rid of everything, are not using their whole brain. They're not thinking it through all the way. Maybe they themselves are criminals and they want there to be no laws so that they can reign free to loot and pillage. I don't know. Or if you're an anarchist and you're actually a good person who doesn't intend on doing that, maybe you just haven't thought it through all the way. There are certain baby steps you have to take. You have to learn to crawl before you can walk. You have to learn to walk before you can run. You gotta learn to run, all that, before you can drive a car, drive a plane. And we'll have to learn how to fly a plane before we can fly a flying saucer and go to another galaxy. If we do it too fast, we'll have a crash. I think that's what happened in the past, 50,000 years ago and 12,000 years ago. We tried to arrive to a world civilization too fast before we were ready, and then it all crashed and we had to start from scratch again. So, that's what happens if you try and go too fast. You have a crash and have to start all over. So, anarchy. I would say that anarchy, but I think people are anarchists today because they're emotionally not happy with the over control of society, and our society does have too much control going on, too much over control. We've got people telling us what we can and can't say. We've got people telling us what words we can and can't use. I mean, our educational system is run like a factory. You have teachers telling you giving you a list of a half a dozen things you can write your paper on. You know, like why can't you write it on whatever you want to write it on? There's a whole bunch of different subjects to write it on. In the field, you've got teachers telling you what you can write it on 3 days before it's due. So you've got this like window to do your stuff. You know, it's like all compartmentalized, all this over control, which eventually drives people completely insane. I mean, I never would have gone. I should have dropped out of school after 6th grade, and I never would have gone to college if my parents didn't make me. You know, weren't like, oh, you have to go. But I mean, it's not just the educational system, where teachers are up there talking to you all the time and you can't say anything, but it's, well, I keep mentioning the FCC, can't say this word, that word. People tell you what you can and can't put in your body. They tell you what plants you can and can't grow. They tell you what you can and can't do to your body. I mean, even as far as like tattoos and stuff go, at least in a lot of countries. You know, abortion, all these controls, and it just puts people in boxes, and it makes people not able to be themselves. How can you be yourself if you're like this? If you have to be a little square like this, packed in with all the other squares, you're just kind of there, like moving around, and you can't move. Eventually, you're gonna explode, and it's all gonna. The solid's going to turn into a liquid. It's going to explode and go free. And so I think what's happening now is people are just starting to go, oh, come on. But then they don't think it through and they go, anarchy, emotionally charged, you know, because when people get emotionally angry and charged, like when you're drunk and you get angry, you kind of lose your mind a little bit, and you get drunk, you know, and you start maybe punching people and throwing glass through windows and stuff, you know. So I think if we were to have like a more free society, not all these silly little controls that we spend a whole lot of money on, then there won't be anarchists going, anarchy, no rules at all, you know. And then they can transfer that whole anarchy, no rules at all idea into a vision of the future where there really won't be any rules, but we have to go through some baby steps before we get there. So in the end, I don't believe in anarchy. I believe in rule of law. But in the future, I do. So anyways, there you go. That's what I think about anarchy.